when I was in Houston last week, there was a lady came up to me. Her name was Carla Smith, and I do my meet and greets. And she asked if she could speak to me after a meet and greet. She really wanted to share a story with me, and she wrote a little note on a napkin and gave it to T-Row, and T-Row brought it to me. And seemed like you could tell when somebody's BSing and somebody's got a real story to tell you. Well, she had a real story, and let me make sure I get her IG out, because I told her I would share the story. I want to get her correct IG out. So, just a second. It's funny when I need something, everything's going smooth, but then as soon as I try to type something in, everything's running slow. Hold on. And why are my allergies acting up? Oh my gosh. Why is this happening now? Why does the internet run slow as soon as I get on my podcast? It's been running fast. As soon as I need to look something up. No, we're going to slow it down a little bit. So her IG is Carla Smith _realtor. And she's a realtor, but she got other stuff going on. She also has Carter's Tax Angels and Bookkeeping. She does tax repair, credit services. Credit repair, helps with taxes, all that stuff. So, yeah. So we'll put her IG on here. Carla Smith. So she tells me, she comes in the green room, sit down, her, and I got T-Row in the green room with me, and she tells me how her son passed away in 2016, her husband passed away in 2018, and she's been coming to see me for like 10 plus years. Then she shows me a picture of her and her husband before he passed, and she knew jokes that I forgot. I was like, she was talking about, because I sell merch after my shows. And she goes, yeah, I got the black shirt where you had the gray face on it. And you said, someone in the audience one time said, I have a black face on my shirt. And I was like, you can't put a black face on a black shirt. You wouldn't see the face. The face is gray. I was like, dang, you remember that? That wasn't even a joke that was in a special or even in my act. That was just something I said one night on stage when somebody yelled that out. So the fact that she remembered that. And, it was cool. We spent about probably close to 30 minutes talking, listening. And she basically said, like, everything she'd been through, like when her and her husband, before he passed, was together, I was their favorite comedian. And then once he passed, she wasn't really smiling or laughing, but then she'd go to my YouTube page or my social media and she'd look stuff up and, just made her laugh. And it's interesting because sometimes you forget as comedians what we do for people. It was funny because I was talking to that one mailman, and I was, I don't want to say I'm his mentor. I'm just like, I'm a guy that I'm just somebody he can call if he needs help or questions on the road. And, he was with me for a while, but now he's doing his own thing, which how it should be. It's a natural progression. But he called me and there was one city where he didn't have the ticket sales he wanted. And that's going to happen in this business. Hell, Kings of Comedy didn't sell out every show when they first went on the road. There's going to be in this business as comedians, there's going to be times where you sell more tickets than you ever have in a city. And you're wondering like, whoa. And there's going to be times where you don't sell as many tickets as you hoped in a city. It just happens. But Mailman, he had a show recently, I think somewhere in Florida, and his ticket sales wasn't what they wanted. And he had made a call to his manager at the time and said, man, I don't even know if I want to go for this little bit of ticket sales. So you got to realize, Mailman, he came out like gangbusters. Like his first time he ever went on sale was in Cincinnati, Ohio, and he sold out 2 shows like that. And I remember telling him and his people, I go, this ain't normal. Like you're gonna hit a brick as far as ticket sales every now and then. Nobody comes out the gate, especially somebody from social media, and just starts selling out everywhere in advance like that. But there will be times it happens. And so with the fact that he came out like gangbusters, and now I think he's kind of hit a plateau where he'll tell me like his social media was, but he was new. So you hit a plateau and then something will come along and you won't see it coming. It'll be a joke. It'll be a sketch. It'll be just something he says on current events and you'll hit a bump and then it'll plateau again. And sometimes you go a little down. Sometimes it plateaus. It's just what it is. You can't explain it. It's no similar than you post a video out and you think a video is going to get 1 million some views and it gets like 30. And then a video you think I'm just throwing up there for whatever reason gets millions. I mean, look at Matt Rife. He shares a story of how the video that blew him up off TikTok, he wasn't going to post. And his boy was like, dude, post that. That's good. And he posted it and woke up next morning, bing, through the roof. So Mailman was saying like, there was a city in Florida that where ticket sales wasn't what he wanted. And he said, man, I don't even know if I want to fly down there for a little bit of ticket sales. And I was like, he can't look at it like that. I said, you got to look at it like, hey, I'm not taking a loss. I've sold enough tickets that I'm going to make some money this weekend. It might not be what I'm used to, but I am going to make some money. I'm also getting stage time. I've been doing stand-up a little over a year. And I'm glad this lady from Carla talked to me because I talked to Mailman literally the day after I talked to her. And I didn't share her story, but I just shared a story. I said, dude, you don't know what people are going through. There could be somebody whose best friend, son, anybody committed suicide, and they're down the dumps, and they're just nothing makes them laugh, nothing makes them smile, and they come across your video, and you're the one that made them laugh, you're the one that made them smile, and you might have 50 tickets sold in a city, but one of those 50 is that person who lost somebody in their life, and you're the one that made them smile, so they're going to come see you. Because you're their guy. And that's what makes stand-up bigger than just ticket sales and jokes. And I guarantee you that person will always come back to see you, a la Carla Smith in Houston. And they're always going to tell their friends. And your name's going to come up at every family function. And they're going to show videos of you. And that's how that snowball effect takes off and people just start talking. So I tried to stress to him, keep that in mind when you start getting frustrated in the business, because Mailman had a weekend where he was a little frustrated, and then he went into the show, had the best time. He said, man, the crowd was fire, and did good on merch. Club wants him back. I mean, so you're building relationships at this point. So yeah, I think we forget that sometimes, and I'm guilty of it too. So I think that meeting with her came right on time for me to share that with Mailman when he was frustrated a little bit.